everyone. Happy Thursday. We are happy to be here, fourth day in a row, just before the long weekend, with one final webinar to share with you. And it is all Canadian. And this morning, one of our friends, David Greenspan, is here to talk to us about Mindshare this morning. David, that is quite the background you have going on there.
You know, we're Canadian. Awesome. We're Canadian, eh?
We sure are, and you've been busy through this whole time. And we always like talking about Mindshare with you, and it's all about giving back, sharing ideas, and I think this is a time we all need to be doing that because it's just another way of supporting people.
It certainly is, absolutely, Lee. It's a crazy time that we're having out there, and I think that a lot of people are going through, you know, what should we be doing, and how should I be managing my time, and you know, how do I really stay up with my routine right now? And I think that one of the big things for us is to make sure that everybody is going to be continuing to do what they were doing before, so that as this thing ends, because it will end, that everybody's going to be on top of the game rather than just trying to catch back up to the game.
That sounds terrific. And you have some ideas with us on how to do that. So I will turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. So, hey, everybody, I have no idea. I can't see anybody, but I know that I imagine you're here right now and you can see me. So this is a good thing. For those of you that aren't familiar with me, please check out the site, mindshare101.com. You can get a little bit more info there. Lots of videos and podcasts and stuff, just all sorts of free value add for you guys to take advantage of, including, which will be tomorrow. Yesterday, I had Mr. Chris Voss, the lead negotiator for the FBI. He, as the author for Never Split the Difference, he was on the podcast yesterday. That was an amazing episode. He talked all about negotiation tactics. So if you guys didn't catch that, make sure to subscribe to the Mindshare podcast, so you can always stay up to date with those. But that episode was just off the charts. Now, as we just discussed, it is a crazy time. And we know that no matter what time it is, no matter what happens and where we're at, we don't have control over the market. We can't control what other people are doing, but we certainly are always in control of our own success. And I know that there's a lot of people thinking right now, well, no, I didn't see this coming. And this pandemic has us at home and I cannot do my business. We're going to talk about strategies to do business right now. It has changed for everybody. Everybody's in a very similar boat. And so this is about keeping your spirits up, keeping your chin up. This is about waking up and looking for the good every single day right now. This is about the silver lining, about the time we get to spend with family and the extra things we need to do or can do and have time to do for our business. So let's go through 3 steps to build in Mindshare in a time of crisis. Step number 1, as I just mentioned, there's a lot of us that are sitting around right now going, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do with myself. Many of us are getting up in the morning and it's like you're putting on a pair of jogging pants and maybe you're putting on a nice top because you're going to be on camera, but it is a different routine. I know for us, we're at home, we're trying to deal with the kids right now and keep them homeschooled. And so part of it is not just managing my routine or you managing your routine, but it's now about that change in routine of what we normally did back then, trying to adapt to the new world we live in today. And then even on top of that, if you've got young kids at home, trying to figure out how do we manage all of that. So I want to go back to something that, for those of you that have taken a Mindshare challenge or have seen Mindshare at any conference that we've done, you know, with C21 Canada, anywhere, I've talked about time management a lot, and I will always continue to talk about this because this is how we control what we want to do in life. So there's 3 things here. 1, figure out where you track everything you do in a day. Is it on a notepad with a piece of paper? Is it on your phone? Is it in your CRM? Where is your calendar? The same way that if you were trying to get somewhere and you didn't know where it was, you might go to something like Waze or Google Maps and punch in the address and it'll just tell you what to do. And you'll get in your car and you'll start driving. Well, you've got to look at your calendar the same way you look at Google Maps, but this is your life map. Right? This is what tells us what we're doing every single day. So the first thing to that is determine, where do I track everything? Where is my schedule? Once you know where you look at, because I'll tell you, I look at my CRM every single day. Once you look at that, now it's a matter of figuring out what's realistic for you. So What do I need to do? Well, I know, okay, right now I've got to help the kids with their school. So I've got to make sure that before I can get into my routine in a day, I've got to get their routine in a day. So you're going to mark that down. You're going to start to mark down the things that are realistic. I know that I want to go outside and play with the kids at some point today. And hey, in a normal world, my schedule revolves a lot around my son's sports, his hockey, his baseball, my wife's yoga, my daughter's dance, my hockey. So I'm going to take all of those things that I know I'm going to do anyways. And those are the first things I'm plugging into my calendar. It's what's realistic. I am going to do them. So that's the second step. One was determine the calendar. Where are you tracking? The second is what's your realistic time? What's real for you? And the third one is predictable days. Well, now there's the business stuff, right? We can't leave that stuff out. We have to get that stuff done. And you cannot be catching up on you want to do Netflix? Do it at like 12 o'clock at night, okay? Don't be doing it right now. Instead, right now, stay focused. Just adapt. Social media. Doesn't matter if you're in the office or in the car or at home. Get it done. Line item in your schedule. Emails. Doesn't matter where you are. Get it done. Line item in the schedule. How are you building Mindshare on a regular basis? Getting out there and connecting with people. And we're going to talk more about that in a moment. Again, put that in the schedule. If there's calls you have to be on, if there's webinars you have to be on, put that in the schedule. You see, we're tracking everything we need to do. And now we've got a plan for what we need to do every day, no matter whether we're dealing with COVID or it's back to normal world. It's the plan. This is the guide. This is the map. And here's what happens. When we've got a plan, it helps us manage time better. So we're not running around feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, feeling like, oh my God, I never have enough time. I'm just too busy. We're on the ball. And by being on the ball, when we look back at that schedule at the end of a day and we realize all of the things that we accomplished today, and we look back and we go, wow, I got a lot done. Now we believe in ourselves more. So the calendar not only helps us stay on top and manage time, but now the look back on the day says, when I look back, I can say, wow, you know what? Little shoulder tap and remind myself I did a good job today. Now, once we do that, we're believing in ourselves. Well, now other people are believing in us as well. And as other people are believing in us and they're trusting us more, well, they start to tell more people. They see our passion. And as they're seeing our passion, they're telling other people, and those people are seeing the passion. And now we've got other people supporting our efforts. This is what we call social proof. When other people talk about us and they say good things about us, the other people that are listening to that actually go, oh, yeah, really? Whereas when we sit there and go, hey, I'm the best. You got to work with me. Here's why. It's like, yeah. Sales, sales, sales. Nobody wants to be sold. When we got social proof, that sells for us. We don't have to say anything. How do we do that? It all comes back to managing time. Again, we manage time better for ourselves. We feel better. We believe in ourselves more. Other people see that we believe in ourselves. They believe in us more. And then other people start to support our efforts. And now we've got all these other people doing a lot of the mindshare building for us. Again, it all comes back to managing time. Now, the second step here, and this is something I want you guys to focus on right now. I mean, you can wait till we're done here today, but go through this with me as we do this, okay? Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and I want you to write this down just like this. I hope you can see this. Just a big letter T on a piece of paper. Because I'm going to walk you through a marketing plan and a marketing budget very quickly, very easily right now. But I want you to think about this. We all get up every day to go to work, whether we're getting up and, doing it in our jogging pants or we're, on the phone with people, or we're getting out there in the car in the normal world, whatever. We do this to pay bills. And the more expenses we take on, the more we cause ourselves to have to work harder. And I get it. We want to go spend some money to take on some new tools to see if we can build our business more. And some of us spend money because we want to save ourselves time. But time is money. You see, the more you manage time, the more you can manage money. But if you're not managing time, you feel like you're always out of time. Hence why we just talked about time. And then we get to the point where we start spending money thinking, that'll save me time. But all of a sudden, we've actually caused ourselves to work harder because now we have to go out and make more money to pay for the things, the expenses we just took on to help save us time. So in essence, again, by working harder, we're spending more time. We have less time. Does that make sense? So this all comes down to, again, time is money. Money is time. So right now is a time for you to go through your marketing plan, go through your marketing budget, truly understand how much money do I have to spend? Where am I at right now for my marketing? So let's go through this together. This is what we call the Model T. So I want you to take on that letter T that we just wrote down. I want you up at the top of that to write a dollar sign right at the top. Okay. And as you see it right here on your screen, on the left-hand side, I want you to write group number 1, the people we know. And on the right hand, group number 2, the people you don't know. So again, dollar sign at the top, group number 1 on the left, group number 2 on the right. Now that we've got our Model T laid out, we're going to determine what our budget looks like, what our marketing plan looks like. So the first thing to do is to figure out our needs. What do we need in life? I need to pay for my groceries. I need to pay for my mortgage. I need to pay for insurance. I need to pay for my cell phone. I need to pay for gas and hydro, etc. What are those bills that come in every 30 days for you that you need to pay? Write that number down. You may not know that number right this second, but I want you to take what you're learning right now, and I want you to do this while you've got time to do this right now. So figure out what those needs are. How much money do I need to spend? The next thing you do is you figure out your wants. What do I want in life? I want to go for lunch. I want to buy a new pair of shoes. I want to go to the game. I want that whatever. You want it. You don't need it, but hey, you're going to spend the money on it. I mean, that's why we go to work. We want to, be able to get the things we want in life. Got it. And again, granted, November and December will be higher months because of holidays than, let's say, January or February, where we're trying to tighten the pockets a little bit because of how much we spent in November and December. You get what I'm saying here? But the idea here is you want to figure out an average. What do those wants cost me in a month? Break that down, figure out your monthly average on wants, and now you know how much you're spending kind of over the course of a year. So now we know this. We know our needs. So I might do something like this, okay? So we go group number 1, group number 2, and then down at the bottom, I'm going to write needs, and I'm going to write wants. Okay, so again, chicken scratch, but it looks something like this. Needs and wants down at the bottom. You see my Model T's right there. Okay, needs and wants at the bottom. I've now tracked that number. I know that my needs might run me, $5,000, $10,000 a month, whatever it is that I've got to pay out every single month. That's like before I do anything. Then I got the wants, the stuff that, like, again, I want to do. What's that going to run me? Maybe that's $1,000 a month. Okay, write that down. So we now have needs at, let's say, 5,000. We've got wants at 1,000. We know that at minimum, after taxes, every single month, we got to bring in 6 G's. Cool. So how much money you got left over for marketing? Have you thought about that? Well, it depends what it costs. No, it does not. It depends what you can afford. You see, because anybody can tell you anything costs anything. And if you cannot afford it, you should not be implementing it. Because there's too many people right now, right this moment in time during COVID, that have decided to pull back on all of their marketing, that have decided to cancel all sorts of stuff. And for so many people that I speak to, that I've been watching and listening to, it's because they just can't afford it right now. They're scared of where the next paycheck's going to come from, right? And I know there's a lot of you on the other line right now going, yeah, so, and I got it. But part of budgeting, part of being prepared, part of knowing what our marketing budget is and being able to afford it is us, again, being prepared for next month and the month after and the month after. No matter pandemic, no matter what goes on, we need to be prepared to be able to afford all of this stuff going forward. So we've got to figure out the needs. We've got to figure out the wants. And now it's what's left over in the marketing budget. So what's left over? I'll ask you. Once you've done your numbers, can you spend $50 a month on marketing? And if you're sitting there like, yeah, cool. Can you spend $100 a month on marketing? And if you're like, yeah, cool. And for some of you who said like, I don't know, $100, that's kind of my max. Cool. Write it down. But if you said yes to 100 and I ask you, can you do 200? And you're like, yeah, I can do 200. Could you do 400? Hell yeah, I can do 400. Could you do 800? Ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay. Now, some of you might be like, yeah, 800 I could do. Cool. Could you do 16? But let's just say at 800, you stop for a moment. And this is where we're doing the gut check with ourselves. At $800, if you cannot do it, if you thought, no way, cool, can you do 7? Can you do 6? Because again, if you have that little moment of hesitation, can you do 600? Yeah, I think I could do 600. Okay, cool. Your number's 500. What? Yeah. We need a number that you can be 100% locked in and sure of that you can spend, not just that, like maybe. Because the next question becomes, can you do $500 a month next month? Oh, yeah. Could you do $500 a month the month after? Yeah. Could you do $500 a month for the next 12 months, which is 60s for the year, all year? Could you do that? You're like, you know what? Yeah, I could do that. I figured out my budget just the way you just showed me with the AMH theorem. I got it. I can do this. Cool. Can you do that without spending or like making a penny on it? Oh, Dave, why would I not want to make a penny on it? No, listen, you're going to make money, but it's like, I mean, as long as you're doing things in the right way. But it comes down to, can you afford to do that if you didn't make a penny? Because we're in tough times right now. We got to be very realistic. And this is whether we're in tough times or not. This is the way we're supposed to be doing this stuff. So it's like, yeah, I could do that. All right, cool. So then up at the top of our Model T, right at the top, I want you to write $500 a month, $6,000 for the year. Now that you figured out your monthly budget, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to go through your marketing plan. And I want you to start thinking about the different tools that you use to market your business. And depending on the tools that you use, depends on whether you write them down on the right or the left side. So just before you write them down, I want you to think about them. What do I do for marketing? Do I have flyers that go out to a neighborhood? Yeah, cool. Group number 2. How much does it cost monthly? Do you advertise on social media? Yeah, cool. Group number 2. Because again, you're spending money on social media. My website, group number 2, because people that they've maybe already been there once, but they don't really need to go back there. So again, group number 2. Are you doing newsletters to your contact list? Group number 1, people we know. Write it down on the left side, put a dollar figure. If you got billboards, bus benches, any mass advertising, right-hand side. So think about, and there's a million ideas out there, think about what you do for advertising. Think about what it costs and think about which audience it is geared towards. Group number 1 or group number 2, write it down on the appropriate side, put a dollar figure next to it, and then once you're done, total it all up. We know that 79% of your business comes from group number 1. We know that. Yet, I'm pretty certain that when you go through this, you're going to figure out that most of your marketing dollars, most of your marketing efforts, most of your time is geared towards group number 2. So I want you to, again, that's where you can start to make your adjustments, right? You can start to look at group number 2 and go, well, if they're only delivering 10 to 30% of my biz, I should be spending more money and time on group number 1. Therefore, I'm going to adjust some of the things I work with on group number 2. Now we've just laid out your budget. We've analyzed your marketing plan, and we know where we need to adjust. Again, remembering 79% of the biz comes from number 1. And remembering that everybody that you spend money on with group number 2, the goal is always to convert them into group number 1, because again, that's where our business comes from. Now, step 3 here. We've talked about time management. We've talked about money management. Let's talk about communication. How important it is to communicate. And many of you know this one. There's probably many of you that don't. But there's only 7 ways to communicate with people. And I'm going to leave like radio and television out of this because that's like expensive stuff. But and I encourage you, there's just a completely free resource for you guys. Go to mindshare101.com, download the 7 Ways to Communicate ebook. It's completely free for you. But you can read through the 7 different ways. We don't have enough time to go through them all today. But I do want to get into 3 must-dos for right now. Things you can be doing right now above and beyond back checking your scheduling, because that's massive for you. Do that. Above and beyond managing your money, because that's just as massive for you. I want you to do that. But these 3 must-dos are what's going to help us continue to build Mindshare through this time of crisis. It's going to help us stay present with people. Number 1, pick up the phone and call people. Now, I know you might be going, oh man, another one. Yeah, another one. I'll tell you every single day, whether we're in pandemic, COVID time or not, you've got to be making phone calls every day to people. You should have 5 to 10 people a day you're jumping on the call with at minimum, just to say what's up, just to check in. Not a business call, not a, hey, it's a great time to sell call. And I was on one of these the other day and somebody says, oh, I don't know, man. I don't feel right. I don't want to pick up the phone and call people and try to sell them real estate right now. Who the, what? Who said to pick up the phone and call and sell them real estate? We didn't say do that. No. Instead, it's just calling people to check in. And right now is the perfect time to call people to check in. Look, normal world, call people, check in, say what's up. Call people, find out how the vacation was. Call people, talk about, the hockey game or the baseball, whatever. Maybe it's their birthday, their home anniversary, whatever. Maybe you saw something on Facebook and you want to pay, oh, I saw you got a new dog. Call anybody, say what's up. That said, right now, here's a few things you can do to pick up the phone and call people. Now, being on the line with Chris Voss yesterday, the negotiator, when we saw him in Niagara Falls at Reality, he had mentioned something about, what you don't want to do when you're calling somebody who's, in a hostage situation. You're calling, let's say, the parents of the person whose kid got kidnapped. You definitely don't want to call them up and say, how are you? Right. Which, put that one in perspective, like, true, right? Like, why would you call and say, how are you, when you know they're not doing well? Their kid is kidnapped. Let's kind of go the same way. We're sitting at home. We're all kind of on lockdown. We're not going out to do our normal stuff. We're not seeing people as often. Maybe some people have people around them or within their household that are ill, have fallen ill to this thing. We don't know how people are doing. But to call and check in, hey, I'm calling to check in. What's happening over there? How's everybody feeling? Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. No, seriously. Like, are you good? Are things good? Is there anything I can help you with? So now you're calling with empathy. You're calling to say hello to people. You're calling to check in with them, but you're doing it in a very, again, sentimental, genuine, authentic way. You want to know how people are feeling over there. If everybody is healthy, if there's anything you can help them with. Now, if you break down your contact list into 3 groups, we break it down. One group is going to be, let's say, young families. The call could be, hey, you got young kids at home. Yeah. What are you doing to keep these guys busy? What are you doing? And I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, and this is real life. We've done 3 things with our kids to keep them incredibly, incredibly busy. One, obviously, being homeschooling, but we've set up this routine for them of, this is what you're going to do. This is what, 9 to 3 is going to look like. Here's when you're going for recess. Here's when you're going to do your math, when you're going to do your language. So we've put that up as an agenda on the wall. From there, we've also created store hours. Okay. So we've actually created a store that itemizes things that they can spend money on. I want to go and I want to have more free time, or I want to go play my video games. I want to go outside. I want to have an extra snack. Cool. These things all cost money. Now, it's monopoly money, by the way, but now we're teaching them the value of money. Okay. So we teach them the value of money by saying, look, this is what the cost is if you want to have that. So you might be thinking, well, how do they earn money? Well, there's another sheet of paper up on the wall that tells them how much things cost. What they can do to earn. So, for example, if do the dishes, X amount of dollars. Drink 5 cups of water, do X amount. Get X amount of dollars. Make your bed this morning, get X amount of dollars. And so, what they're able to do now is they're able to make money. They're able to start totaling up the money they have. We're doing a little bit of math homework with them. Now that they're totaling up the money that they have, we're going from there. And now they're able to spend money and they can see how much things cost. And then all of a sudden they realize they want to spend money on this, but they're like, oh, I don't have enough money. Cool. Kid, get to work. Or they realize how much that costs, but they've only got so much money. They could afford to buy that, but they really want this. So now they got to make a decision whether or not they should be spending their money on that. So that was one thing that we did to keep them busy was beyond school, homeschooling, we've actually set up this whole idea around a store. The other thing we've done with them is that we have And again, these are conversations you can have with people, right? When you're making your phone calls, what are you doing to keep the kids busy? The other thing we've done is a time capsule, a video time capsule. So we literally set up a camera and we had it where we all sort of sit in front of the camera. And I had a whole bunch of questions written out of what we were going to ask. And we were going to state, what our names were and what the date was and kind of the numbers on how many cases there have been worldwide and in Canada for COVID and deaths, and then how many recovered. And we go through how we're feeling and what we've learned. And we're really just documenting on video right now. And we figure it's like for generations to come because COVID's going down in history. This thing is going to be studied by generations beyond us. So we thought it'd be fun that we create this little video time capsule that generations beyond us can see, and they can see who we were and how we were and how we dealt with this entire thing. But you see what I'm doing here? I'm making full-on conversation right now with you about what I'm doing with my kids. And I could go on and on and on. We got lots of different things there. But now spin that around. When you're making your phone calls, figure out who your young families are, pick up the phone and call those people. Talk to them about what they're doing with their kids. Tell them about what you're doing with your kids. The next thing, figure out who your elderlies are. Yeah, 5 weeks ago when this thing started, everybody needed a lot of help. Everybody was trying to be real helpful. Who can I buy food for? Who can I send stuff to? That hasn't stopped. The fear is still here. If anything, it's even more real. Who can you call, touch base with, find out how they're doing? The third group there to pick up the phone and call, how about those local shop owners? How about those people that you would go in and talk to on a regular basis? And maybe you didn't talk to them ever. Maybe you just walked into the store and you spent money and then you left. Maybe you're the realtor who's always on their phone with your head down. And you're like, yeah. How much? Okay, here you go. And you pay for your eggs and your milk. You get the hell out of Dodge. Or maybe your kids are the ones that always walk in and, causing a ruckus in the store. Use some frame of reference. Pick up the phone and call people. Say hi. It's so-and-so. And you may not remember me, but I'm always the realtor who's on their phone who's always ignoring you. Oh, yeah. Or I'm the one with the two kids that cause a ruckus all the time, spilling the milk over here. Oh, yeah. Maybe they won't remember you from a hole in the wall. But here's the idea. What you're doing now is you're calling them to say hi. You're calling them to let them know that you're one of their regular shoppers. And remember something, you're at home right now, you're scared about where you're going to be making money tomorrow, next week, next month, how you're going to pay bills. So are they. There's a lot of small businesses out there. And so when you call them and you let them know who you are, and whether they remember you or they don't, you let them know that you are one of their regular shoppers, that you have not been in a little while because of what's going on outside right now, but that you will be back when this entire thing is over. Now, what have you just done? You've brightened somebody's day. You've given them hope that business isn't falling apart, that they're going to be able to open their doors again or keep their doors open when this whole thing ends, that they will survive. You've made somebody smile. So pick up the phone, call those small businesses, call those shop owners, check in on people, remind them that the world isn't falling, remind them that you will be back. Because just like you and me right now, everybody is scared. Everybody is wondering. But this gives you the chance to continue to be the conduit of information in that community, the go-to source, the person that always builds relationships. This is what we call building positive mindshare. The next to do is social media. And there's a lot going on in social right now. A lot of the real estate groups, which are usually great resources to learn from and network with each other, and still remain to be. There's a lot of negativity going on. And a lot of people who've got lacks of respect for them and their colleagues right now. And I say lack of respect maybe for yourself. I'm not painting the brush over every single person watching this. I'm just saying in general. And we all know because we're part of these groups when we see them. But there's people being very, very negative, people being very destructive to their own brands, people saying things that maybe they shouldn't be saying, people attacking others because they're emotional right now. And again, we're all scared. But keep your spirits up. Keep your positivity up. When you get involved in those groups, be helpful. Don't be selfish. Be selfless. Remember the hero in any story. The hero in any story is the person who's out there helping others, not the one going, look at me, woe is me, and attacking others. It's the person who's helping others, the person finding the ray of sunshine, no matter what's going on out there, no matter what color the sky is. So get involved in this stuff, but remember, keep it positive. All of this is going to have an impact on your brand and you and the perception people have of you when we come out of this. We've all been through something in life that's been negative, um, where we felt that, you know, it hurt us emotionally. And I mean, hell, this could be breaking up with like your first girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. It hurt. How did you deal with it at the time? How about a fight that you had with somebody? How did you deal with it at the time? But then fast forward, when it was all said and done, the emotions subsided and the whole, everything just died down and it was no longer a thing. That look back on how you managed it at that time, how did you feel after the fact? Did you kind of go like, oh man, could have done better than that? I could have reacted differently. Oh my God, it really didn't mean that much now that I look back at it. So think about these things. Think about where we're at today. Fast forward. Now take a look back and ask yourself, who was I in that time? What did people see of me? So here's 5 things I want you to do for social media. And this is, again, COVID or no COVID. This is stuff you should be doing every single day. And when I talk about the time management, like we talked about off the top today, your scheduling is important. Making sure that you put this stuff in your schedule, the social media as a line item, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go on social. You're not going to spend all day on social. You're not going to scroll aimlessly, but you're going to go in there from, let's say, 9 to 9:30 or 9 to 9:30 or 9 to 10 a.m., whatever. And your goal is going to be this. You're going to scroll, like, and react. Here, 10-10-10 rule, okay, for number 1, like, react, post as you scroll. 10-10-10. Take 10 minutes to like and or comment on 10 people's posts in your feed and 10 people's stories. You can do that on Insta. You can do that on Facebook. Hell, if you're on TikTok, go and do it there too. Whatever apps you're on, LinkedIn, you name it. 10-10-10. Once you're done, move on. You've got other things to do in a day. So again, you're scheduling your time accordingly. You're acting with purpose on your social. So liking and reacting to posts as you scroll, right? Commenting on people's posts. Actually get involved in the conversation. You've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. Do not be a stalker. Share other people's posts. So get involved, share it out, but don't just share it. Have something to say about it. So if you're going to share it, give us a reason why you shared it. Post your own content. Post. Do something. Yeah, but Dave, I don't know. I don't normally post, or people don't care about me, or whatever your excuses are. If you're on there, you're looking at others. Why wouldn't other people look at you? I mean, take a picture right now on your screen, post it up, tag me. If you tag me, I'll repost it. Put it on a story, whatever. This is, again, leveraging social media. You're just out there. And as I do my really quick scroll and I see you, I'm like, oh yeah, I know you. I know that person. I click something and maybe I share something and I get engaged. I comment on something. So that's posting your own content. And then again, don't be shy to send out friend requests. Don't be too cool for school. You know what I mean? Get out there and connect with people. Send people a friend request. Get involved. Get involved in groups. There are a lot of groups out there. Lots. We just talked about real estate groups. What about personal interest groups? Do-it-yourself groups, home improvement groups, Maple Leaf groups, Harley Davidson groups, whatever, dad groups, mom groups. Okay. There's lots of groups out there. Think about your passions. Think about the things you're involved in. Fishing groups. Go into those groups and start to get to know people there. And that's where you can meet more people. One new person every single day is 365 new people a year. Okay. So social media, this stuff is way too easy. And the third one here is video. Now, so many of us, I mean, I've been doing it for some time now, but so many people have been forced into using video right now for the first time. And we've seen some hilarious stuff on people's first Zoom calls about not knowing how to manage the camera or realizing that everybody can see you. So be very careful about that sometimes. But I want everybody to really understand this. You look and sound the exact same on camera as you do in the mirror. So if you're scared of this lens, if you're scared of this right here, hey, go look in the mirror. If you're not scared of that, you shouldn't be scared of this. Okay. It's too easy. So that's a little tip for you. Just get past the fear. And then remember this. Here's a couple tips for you as you move forward with video. Okay. This stuff's important because this is where we see people make a lot of, call it rookie mistakes. Call it like, I mean, I know people that have been doing video for a long time that still make these mistakes. But here's a few things to write this stuff down. Okay. Number 1, always have the light in front of you, whether it be the sun, whether it be you're inside the house, but there's a window. You want to have that in front of you. So right now you can see that I'm well lit. I'm in my studio right now. So I've got some crazy LED lighting going on. But one thing I don't have is I don't have a light behind me that's shining in your face, right? Because if I did, it would be hard to see me. If I did, I would be a silhouette, and you just wouldn't be paying as much attention. So you always want to make sure you're well lit. For those of you that know me, know that I love to wear a hat every once in a while or often, whatever. But if I've got a hat on, it's going to make my entire face dark. So I've got to make sure that if I'm going to be wearing a hat, that whatever lighting I've got is lighting up underneath me as well so that you can see my eyes. Check your background. You want to make sure that there's nothing funny going on back there, funny signage, a mess, dirty laundry, whatever. Again, being at home, well, you're letting people into your home now, right? By turning on a video camera in your house. So just make sure that whatever's behind you is something that you're okay with people seeing. Um, if you got a jewelry box or something like that at home, like keep that, out of the video. So check your background. Too much noise. If there's, sorry if I just hurt your ears, but that's what we call wind in a microphone. Or there's, right, a lot of noise in the background. You're like, Dave, can you stop that already? Or you're at a restaurant and all you can hear is like, is this working here? Right, the little jingling and stuff like that. You want to watch for background noises. Okay, so again, always paying attention to music or whatnot because it's hard for us to hear. Looking at the lens. So if I'm doing this all the time, I'm not actually looking at you, but and this is me looking at my screen. So I'm looking at the exact same screen you're looking at right now. So I mean, if I'm on the screen and I can actually see my video right now, so this is me looking at myself. And we all have a tendency when we're looking at a camera to look at ourselves. But while I'm doing this, I'm not actually looking at you. So instead, what I want to do is I always want to be focused on the lens. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at this little thing right here. It's a little tiny eye that's looking at me. And that could be the same thing on your phone. So you've got the lens on your phone. Every time you're taking a picture, you're doing a selfie, look at the lens. Do not look at the screen. If you're doing video on your own, look at the lens. Do not look at the screen. Always focus on the lens. And then finally, your hands. If I just sat here like this and I was like this, for those of you that know me would go, what's wrong with David? Why is he not moving? Now, one thing about me is, for me personally, if I don't use my hands, I almost forget what to say. I need my hands to talk. But at the same time, don't be fake. Do not do things with your hands that you don't normally do because, well, it's not really you. And then maybe if you sat there and you're like this and you're just holding your hands straight like this, it's also not normally you. Why does he stand in like that? Or why is he always talking more than he normally talks with his hands? Just be natural. Okay. Do what you do. Put your hands down, keep your hands in the air. I don't care. But don't do what you don't normally do. Okay. So again, be natural with you, who you are. Now, talking about video, um, I wish I owned Zoom. They had 10 million subscribers, me being one of those, at the end of 2019. In the month of March alone, they climbed to 200 million subscribers. Oh, 190 million more people, which means a lot more of us are using it. This is exactly what we're using right now. So get comfortable with Zoom. Again, I can't walk you through the entire process of Zoom, but I would tell you that you can get a free account. You go to zoom.us, sign up for an account, and now you can do these video calls with people on a regular basis. Okay, so that's one way that you can use video. And I've got that set up with a webcam, and of course you can tell with my big microphone here. But you don't need all this. You can literally just do it on your laptop. Your laptop has a camera, your laptop has a microphone, it'll work. And again, you can get that free account to try it out. Another way to take advantage of video right now and always is your stories. Story. They're watched 15 times more than your regular feed. Millions of people are using them every single day. They are powerful. They are raw. They are uncut. You do not need to worry about polishing them. You just record. And again, can't go totally into this right now just based on time. But when you look up at the top now, and you can see some of our friends, some that have already been on our webinar series here, and some that will be. Chelsea, who's going to be on with you guys shortly. Chelsea, my girl, she's amazing. Alicia, much the same from Bomb Bomb. She is my girl too. She's amazing. I mean that with all due respect to those ladies. The reason they're on my feed here is that I click on their stories. So now when I open up my Instagram, they're the first people I see. Much the same on my Facebook. Chioko's right there. Why? Because I click on her story. So now when I open up Facebook and or Instagram, the first people that are popping up that are building the most mind share, that are always present at the top of my feed, are these people who are my friends, the people that I click on. So now my goal for my stories is always to have at least one video, one something, one post up there in every 24-hour period. And if you check mine out, which I encourage you to do, David Greenspan 101 on Instagram, at Mindshare 101 on Facebook, I've always got something up there. Always, and probably a lot more than just one something. I love stories. I love having fun with them. And again, it's a great way to practice video. It's very, very quick, very easy, and they only last 24 hours. And then we've got Facebook Live. And there's a big fear around going live for people. People get like, why are we going live? Why would I go live? I don't know. I'm scared. I'm not sure what I'm going to say. The beauty of live is there's no taking it back. We're live right now. So whatever's coming to mind is being said. And if we stumble over ourselves or we do anything, it's okay. People expect that. So one thing to know about live videos, when you do that and you click live, it's going to give you a countdown. So first it's, you go to your regular post and you literally just open it up and it'll say live video right there. You click that and it'll ask you for a title and you can put the title in and then you can click go live. And it'll actually give you like a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Once it goes live, you're live. Say whatever you want. It could be a minute. It could be 10 minutes. It could be whatever you want. When you're done, hit stop live and that's it. Move on. Again, it's a great way to practice video. Now, as we talk about video, I want to go over a few tips here for virtual showings, because I know that right now it's really tough for everybody to get out there and obviously, do your showings and take your virtual tours and promote the properties. And I mean, hey, look, I know there's a lot of you that are just, everything's stopped. You're not getting the listings, never mind taking the listings right now. We're not doing open houses right now. But guys, we got to keep going. There is a business out there that we own that is how we survive. And it's just about adapting in this time of crisis. It's not about hiding our heads out and burying them in the sand and going, when it comes back, I will be back. It is about dealing with it now. So I just want to give you a couple quick tips here on how you can continue to do this stuff and show off properties, okay? Home tours by owners. Start off with getting somebody in the home, walk them through the steps we just talked about for video, right? Again, watching the lighting and watching the sound and watching the backgrounds and things of that nature. But then what you do is you get on a live with somebody. So again, do a Zoom meeting like I just talked about and get them to take you through a tour of their house. Walking around with the camera, it's just you and them. The public isn't going to see this. And I want you taking notes as they're walking through. So get them to show you the kitchen, get them to show you the family rooms and the bedrooms and the backyard and all that stuff. And I want you to take notes. And what you're doing is you're taking notes of the rooms that you want to see more of, the highlights. Now what you're going to do is you're going to ask them to go back through the house and take pictures of those specific rooms. Hey, you had that whatever in the family room. Give me a little bit more of a close up on that. Show me the fireplace or whatever. Show me the kitchen cabinets. Show me that angle of the kitchen like this. Get them to take some photos, get them to take some videos. Then you get them to upload that to something like a Google Drive or a Dropbox or whatever. And you can do one of two things. You can get some of your own presets like Adobe Lightbox, even that company Box Brownie, send the photos off to them. They'll make everything look gorgeous with the twilights from outside and, spicing up the color schemes inside. They can even do virtual staging for you on that stuff. Or if you've got your virtual, like your photographer for virtual tours, get them to do it. But now take those files, send them off to them, get them to come up with that, that virtual tour, that series of photos that they've made look a little bit better because this has all been taken by your homeowner. And from there, I want you to take that stuff and post it on social media. Just advertise it. But Dave, I don't know if we should be advertising this stuff right now. But why? I'm not saying that you got to tell people it's a great time to go buy or sell a house or get out there and go see the world. I'm not saying that. But it's your business. As long as you do it with the right flavor, and you show people you're adapting, we're opening up a world of opportunity for you, because there are other people that might go, you know what? She's got to figure it out. He knows how to put my house on the market right now. I got to do it, because there are some people that just need to do it. Then post it on your website. Get it up on your website so everybody can see it. And of course, again, the next thing you can do now is you've got it up online. You can set up a Zoom meeting with a potential client, a potential buyer. And you can actually take them on the tour while we're doing a meeting just like this. I could share my screen, which you can see right now, but instead this screen is going to be photos. and it's going to be the video. And I can walk you through as I'm looking at you right now, and you can hear me right now. On my screen, you can also see what the house looks like. I get it. It's not the same. I got you. But it is a way to continue going about your business. And I encourage everybody to take advantage of the technology that we have at our disposal. So as we wrap up here, we go back through these 3 to-dos. Call people. Every single day, I want you picking up the phone to call people. Get on social media. Do not just scroll aimlessly. Do not just waste a whole bunch of time doing this. I want you to have purpose when you do it. And we went through what that looks like. And video. Leverage video. Use the tips that I shared with you. Use the different platforms we have at our disposal. Get on stories. It is powerful. It is a way to build mindshare and connect with people. Let people into who you really are. Take advantage of the virtual showings we just talked about. Show people that you're adapting. This is you, again, building positive mindshare. And one thing we know, and you know, mindshare equals market share. So we went over 3 steps today. Step 1, manage time. Step 2, manage money. And step 3, build that mindshare. So just as we wrap up right now, I want to leave you with one last thought. The world is not ending. And to those of you that have had people that are suffering through COVID right now, my heart goes out to you. For everybody, I want to remind you that we will get past this. We are Canadian. And as Canadians, we do our part to come together as a country. We're the best. And so we are all doing our part right now to flatten this curve, practicing social distancing, practicing self-isolation. And as we do more of this, we're going to start to see our numbers drop. We're going to get over that hump, and we're going to get past all of this. So how can you get out there today and make somebody smile through the phone calls, through the video, through the social media, through, again, all the use of technology that we have at our disposal right now? Use it, leverage it, build mindshare with it. Think about how you can build those relationships, because we know this is a relationship business. And just work every single day right now to get out there and make somebody smile. I want to thank you for your time today, Central 21 Canada. I want to thank you very much for the invitation today. I encourage everybody, make sure you check out mindshare101.com. If you're interested in one-to-one coaching, check it out. Please subscribe to the podcast, the Mindshare podcast. Yesterday with Chris Voss a few weeks ago. We know from C21 Canada, I had my boy John Montgomery join me on the show. So make sure you subscribe to the Mindshare podcast. If anybody has any questions, if you want to dig into anything deeper, if there's anything I can help you with, even if it's just a smile, this is my contact information. Reach out anytime. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, as always, David. Great stories. Glad to hear your kids are learning how to manage their money a little bit better. Some ideas for all of us on sometimes you just need a different perspective and a different way to put the same information into perspective for you. So thank you, as always. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you again soon.
I look forward to it. Thank you, everybody. Stay healthy. And again, remember to smile today. Thanks, Lee.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we will be back here on Tuesday. We have Good Friday and Easter Monday off. And then we will be back here with Alicia Baruti from BombBomb. One of the things David talked about today was make the most of video. And that is Alicia's area of expertise. She will be talking about guaranteed ways to get your video played. So please join us on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy the long weekend. See you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.